So imagine Disney executives needing to cover up one of their worst blunders ever. What lows do you think they would stoop to? Do you think that they would feed one of their actors to a Twitter mob for an innocuous tweet? What about going in, gaslighting fans, calling them ists and phobes? See, that's what you and I are going to be asking today in association with the brand The High Republic. See, this thing, it has been a failure, a huge trash fire of a failure at that. The Google Trend numbers, they do not lie on it. You and I, we're going to be looking at these numbers and we're going to be asking ourselves, number one, if you were the Disney executive that went out, you picked this up, basically a license to print money, and you brought around a failure like this. You basically dropped the franchise on its head. Yes, by the way, I am comparing the High Republic on its best day to a concussion on its worst day. I'm saying this thing is like brain damage for the Star Wars brand, but what would you do if you were that person? What levels would you stoop to? Let's talk about that. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. So hey there, you fine folks, by the way. Now, first things first, if you somehow in some way missed out on the High Republic, well, let's just say you haven't missed out on very much at all. I mean, true, some of the chapters in this have been the ultimate trash fire, but most of this stuff is just boring, it's dull, it's not something that you want to check out. Most people have been skipping out on this too. In fact, the only time people talk about it is with something like this. This came up March 5th, 2021, so we're talking about something really new, where Star Wars, The High Republic, is an absolute embarrassment. New character is just a rock. Wait, did that say just a rock? That's right. We have a new character named Geode, a rock named Geode. We have a starship named Vessel. We have a rock named Geode in a book that, well, you probably don't want to read. You want to see what this looks like, by the way, because I'm not kidding. There's a video put together. They have a vessel called Vessel. They have a rock named Geode, and we even have concept art. You want to check this out here? Man, drink that in. Doesn't that sound like something that you would want to spend your hard-earned money on? Now, as far as this or really any other subject is concerned, I could sit around all day long and tell you that nobody cares about it. But you know how you can really tell that? You can look at Google Trends. This is Google Trends for High Republic. I want to give you a baseline when you can tell people we're actually talking about it, and then we can cut that down, and you can tell, well, people aren't talking about it very much. So here's interest over time. If you're wondering how interest over time works, by the way, the numbers represent search interest related to the highest peak on the chart for any given region in time. A value of 100 is peak popularity for the term. Value of 50 is that term is half as popular. Score of 0, if it just came in at 0, that means there wasn't any real data to collect. That means people, they're not talking about it. Now here you see peak interest for the High Republic. Makes sense. That's when it came out. People were checking on it. But if you look over time, this interest, it doesn't even maintain half value. It barely charts at all. In fact, if we put this on a 90-day range, that way it will catch when it released and on, well, you'll see a few ebbs and flows here, but pretty much the only thing that gets people talking about this brand is when people are starting to mock it. I mean, if you look here, for example, you can see where people were laughing about things, but even then, they're not really searching High Republic all that much. Now, for absolute transparency, so nobody says, well, you're skipping out on a few things, that umbrella guy, I want to show you related topics and related queries. Related topics, there's not a lot there that even has to do with High Republic. Now, related queries, these are going to be things that are directly related with that. You can see High Republic comic, for example. If we look up High Republic comic, what you'll notice, just like I was saying before, you have the peak interest popping up around January the 5th. You have a few times here and there where people are talking about things, with comic book releases, but by and large, people are not talking about this. You can see entire dead spots throughout it. Nobody is searching that through there. Now, when you go and plug this into the brand, it gets really, really embarrassing. Why? Because it trends downward when this thing is coming out. Here we're looking up Star Wars. You can see that as our search term. and we're looking at the past 90 days. So you would think if this thing, people were getting excited about it, they would not only look up High Republic, but they would be looking up Star Wars. They would be wondering what the newest and best thing is coming out. And a lot of people, they care about this brand. So if this was something that people actually thought would be good, they would be looking it up. Well, if you look at January here, you can see, oh, people, they're excited, right? Wait a minute. As High Republic starts to roll out, you'll notice discussion over the Star Wars brand, it's falling off. That's not good. That's not good, especially when you're spending a lot of money trying to make this thing good. Now, the reason that didn't work, by the way, is because that wasn't a brand for Star Wars fans. It was a brand of woke Star Wars for people they couldn't get to buy before. Now, if you can't get them to buy out now, what do you think you can get them to buy with? Well, according to Bounding into Comics, and I thought this at the time too, maybe you could get them in by utilizing buzzwords, and that's exactly what Star Wars tried to do. See, they ended up in a tough spot. See, a lot of old school fans, they were pointing out that this person here, this is somebody that represents High Republic, they were an ist. They went out, they said some nasty, nasty things, and instead of them going out trying to correct that, you have Star Wars double down. And the reason, in my opinion, they would double down is because this, it might actually get them a little bit of notice. And you know what it does for the major brand, but as far as High Republic goes, well, let's look at this here. Does it help out? It makes a blip here, but that blip, it's very short-lived. Basically, people don't care about this brand, and the people they want don't care about this brand, and the people that they try to insult, why would they even want to buy this brand? Now, that type of marketing, though, doesn't give them a lot of success. I mean, it gives them the most success they're going to see with the High Republic. You can see it here. But when you look at the Star Wars brand, well, we're not talking about something that's going to keep you going for very long. This is when I think damage control comes in. They decide that they're going to throw somebody under the bus. They decide Gina Carano has to go. Maybe part of it is a marketing move. I mean, after all, the people they throw her to are the people they want to sell High Republic to. But I think that it lorded over the media, and nobody was talking about the failure of High Republic anymore. I mean, after all, you look up all these topics here. I'm not going to look them up, by the way, but if you look them up, you know how long this discussion's been going on. It covers everything until you have people start making fun of Geode again. And that's recent. This article, it came out on the 5th. So when you look at Star Wars High Republic, you see nobody cares about the brand. But at the same time, nobody's talking about it in terms of failure. And don't you find that fascinating? Did they sacrifice someone's entire career to cover this stuff up? You know, maybe it was a bigger move than just going out and getting rid of somebody for wrong thing. But anyway, let me know what you think about this stuff. I find it curious. I'm going to explore it more. But let me know